So the Houston Rockets just got a huge win. They just made an absolute statement with what they just did against the Thunder, and the offense was incredible. There were some good plays that I definitely want to talk about, but the reason why the Rockets are a really good team to put some stock in going into this postseason is because they have beaten both the Cavs and the Thunder, and they've done it twice. And it still feels like people aren't really fully bought into the Rockets yet. I know they're young, I know they still have a lot to prove, but I think this is a team that is ready to make some noise. They have proved that they can compete and play their best against the top tier teams they may end up competing with against down the road in the later rounds. But all that talk is for later in this video. The first thing I want to talk about and break down is this 125-111 dub against the Thunder. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so I think one of my takeaways from this game, just to state the obvious, is that when Sengun and Jalen Green play well together, the Rockets as a team do as well. And that makes perfect sense. And when Jalen Green is the leading scorer, the Rockets are 26-9, and they are 13-1 when he scores over 30. So that's the magic number. And when the Rockets play like they did tonight, they can go toe-to-toe with anyone in a 7-game series. I truly do believe that. And how about Steven Adams, man? He has brought his dog mentality to this team. Is he on the older side of his career? Yes, but one thing has never changed. He always plays the same and prepares the same and brings a lot of experience for the younger guys. Defensively, the Rockets did a phenomenal job as a team with SGA. Holding that guy to 22 points is exactly what you want to do. They made this into a terrible game for the Shea MVP agenda, and really, the Rockets just set the tone early. And with OKC already having their seed in the playoffs locked up, they knew if they got up early, the Thunder would not really have motivation or a reason to dig deep and come back, and that is what we saw happen. Also, in terms of SGA, the Rockets kept him off the free throw line, something that is impossible to do. He only had 1 free throw. The box score just seems so strange to look at, and it's like it's not even real. When does SGA only have single-digit free throws? But I think the Rockets may have figured something out. Obviously, you're not always going to hold SGA to 1 free throw, but limiting them gives you a huge advantage, and it's more simple than it seems. Just go straight up, allow him to make his tough buckets, but don't even do anything that is remotely close to where he can flop and try to sell some BS to the ref. Also, I need to give credit to Ime Udoka because this was one of his best games he's coached in his tenure with the Rockets so far. From the rotations to the game plan to the execution, everything was top notch, especially with how much weight was on this game because there were a couple of letdowns against Denver and LA, and this more than makes up for those losses. Easily the most impressive win of the season because of how they just dominated what has been a historically dominant team that is favored to win the NBA Finals. Now, in terms of some of the game film, let's start out with this hustle play because it really does fit with the theme of the night. Fred VanVleet stayed right up in Lu Dort's space, causing him to lose the ball out of bounds, and VanVleet threw the ball back in bounds behind his back without even looking to create a fast break opportunity, and Jalen Green stepped up and made a big 3, kind of rolled around the rim, hit the backboard, all that stuff. It's tough to make 3s like this because it is the worst feeling in the world to have a transition opportunity, take a jump shot, and miss, even if it is the best shot available in the situation like we saw. Now back to the defensive end, Chet and Hartenstein both were inside, creating a big size mismatch, and it seemed like Steven Adams was kind of in no man's land, but like I said, his effort and anticipation never changes, and he was ready to knock down that pass, and he created yet another transition opportunity, and Thompson is electric when he's running in space. I guess I'm not used to showing this many defensive highlights, but here once again, Steven Adams anticipated the bad and lazy pass, creating another transition opportunity for Thompson, and he just exploded inside to the rack. Now here, this is what I love to see out of Jalen Green because he creates the entire play and is unselfish. He used the VanVleet screen to get the switch he wanted, and then he drives right inside and dumps it off to Tari Eason for the dunk. Looking at the stats from this game, I already talked about Sengun and Green, but just to talk about their numbers again, Jalen Green had 34 points in 28 minutes. He also had 4 rebounds with 5 assists and 2 steals and a block. So some solid effort defensively, and he was 11 of 24 from the field, 9 of 10 from the line, 3 of 10 from 3, not the best, but still, it's doable, it's reasonable, and then he was plus 15 in terms of plus minus. Steven Adams played 22 minutes, he had 8 and 12, and he also had 2 steals. He was plus 7, 4 of 7 from the field. He's just kind of Mr. Consistent, man. He is just like that foundation that the Rockets kind of build themselves around. Fred VanVleet played 37 minutes. He had 13 points and 6 assists. Again, I know he didn't do a lot on the stat sheet, but he was very impactful. Amen Thompson played 38 minutes. He had 16 points with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. He also had a steal and 2 blocks. He stuffed the stat sheet tonight. And then Alpren Sengun played 33 minutes and had 31 points with 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and then he had 3 steals and was 11 of 21 from the field and was plus 4. In terms of the bench, not a ton of production. Tate had 9 points, Eason had 5 and 4, and then Jabari Smith played 33 minutes. That's a lot for a guy off the bench, and he had 9 points and 17 huge rebounds. He was all over the place. One thing I love about this team that really makes me confident about what they can do in the playoffs is just how deep they are. Sometimes we see games like this where the starting lineup does the heavy lifting, but then other times we see the bench do some of that heavy lifting and really pick up the starters when they have bad games. And in the playoffs, that's exactly what you need, because every single game creates a new challenge and a new opportunity for different guys to do different things. It's crazy that we are already coming down to the final stretch of the NBA season. The Rockets only have 4 games left, and wow, it is a gauntlet. Again, I know it's not that big of a deal because like the season's over, but ending your season against the Warriors, the Clippers, the Lakers, and Denver, wow, that's going to be tough. And I think that's going to create a lot of opportunity for the Rockets to rest, but also for them to kind of see where they're at, because they can take the first half of these games and just play their heart out and see what happens and see what adjustments they can make. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts and what I have to say about this 125-111 win over the Thunder. I think the Rockets played great. They're going to try to take this momentum into the end of the season. Let me know what you guys thought. And here's what some of the guys had to say in their post-game press conferences.
I think that was one of our most physical games from the start. Loved the aggressiveness, attention to detail on the game plan. And yeah, they do a good job, obviously, with the pounding the glass, getting the second opportunities, and more of what they've been doing, what we've been seeing all year from them. So any chance we get to deploy it, I think with Dylan being out, we could go a lot of different ways. They go big, and it's favorable for us, we feel.
Dylan, what are nights like tonight, like when you're going but Alfie's also going?
It's great. I mean, we both feeding off each other's energy. It's very hard to go out when he's attacking you all night. I'm able to attack and feed off him, and really just playing teammate game. So, that's what we want at the end of the day. Me and LP to close game. Everyone in general, but me and LP to close games offensively, and I think that's what we accomplished.
That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you'd like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.